Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So this morning, George and I are back working on our new home project here, and we're going to start some backfill. We got the tile put in the basement for the perimeter drain, got that all done. That tile's never really going to do anything. I mean, this is so high and dry here. I've never seen a water table that high right here, so the tile's really not going to do much, but it is for code purposes. So that's in. Sump pump pits are in. Ended up, just to recap a little bit, I ended up putting 2 sump pump pits in just so I have options for utility sinks or wash tubs, whatever you want to call them down there, laundry tubs. I can drain them into those and pump it out. Or I could have put an ejector pit in if I wanted to put a toilet down there, but I don't ever see putting a toilet in the basement. So anyways, we're going to start this backfill. We got to hold the foam insulation up against the walls. When we backfill, we're going to be putting 1-inch insulation in, and we're going to be doubling it. And that insulation acts as 2 things. Well, first thing is insulation, and the second thing is for frost. It kind of gives a 2-inch crush zone for frost, so when it freezes and squeezes the basement, it'll crush that instead of actually putting all that force on the concrete walls. And it'll also act as a weatherproofing. It'll keep some moisture away from the walls also, even though we've coated them. So we're going to get the dump truck, and we're going to take some fill dirt around to various spots around the basement, and we'll start the backfill process. I was going to haul in fill for this part and just grade this off to bring up the area around the house, but I need to get this out of the way because as soon as we possibly can, we're going to trench across and get the electric put in the house, and the whole end of this pile is in the way of the H panel right there, so I need to at least get rid of this end of this pile so it's out of the way. So we'll go ahead and just use some of this, and then the rest of it we'll get from out back from our borrow pit that we've already started. So alright, let's get started. In a little bit I gotta go fix a John Deere bean head for friend Rich, the mailman. Shaft broke in the reel, and the reel's not turning, so I gotta go weld that up. So we'll get a little video of that. So a little bit of everything going on in the video, a little bit of welding, a little bit of backfilling. It's kind of the whole scheme of dirt, grain, and steel. You just never know what you're gonna see in any of my videos. So alright, here comes George. We're gonna load him up. Might as well keep the video rolling. This dump truck bed definitely needs rebuilt, because while I was out in Colorado, they hauled like 100 and some loads of concrete on it, and it really wore it fast. So the holes that were in it got a lot worse. So this is definitely a winter project, just to fix that bed now. Definitely needs it. Too far away, but that's all right. I don't want to get that sod that's under this pile. I'd rather just load it up and just scrape 6 inches of dirt up versus getting any organics in it, because this is going to be going right along the house, and I don't want stuff to rot and end up with voids. So get the bulk of it, and then the rest of it will just use as outside fill. probably going to have to add a little water to this when we do some compaction work, because we haven't had a considerable rainfall in quite a while, so stuff's getting pretty dry. But I still got the tanker here so I can wet things down as we go. I got a little grass in that one, that's alright. Alright, we'll show George where we should dump this and get started. Alright, so we're going to take a little break from moving dirt to fix the 215 bean head on the Mailman 6620 Turbo John Deere Combine. Here's the issue. The reel has broke. There's a shaft inside this hole here, and that is all cracked, and it's allowing the shaft to turn without taking the reel with it. So the only way to weld this up is through that small hole there. And George pointed out something. He's like, what's the odds of a ground spot being already on the sprocket out here? Somebody's already been here before and tried to fix this. So I'm going to use a stick welder. I'm going to go in through that hole. That hole, there's a couple, I think there's a couple holes I can go in and weld in there. And if I have to, we will take a hole saw and we'll make a few more holes. So we'll see how it looks. Once I get it welded on this side, we'll turn it and weld the other side. So let's get started, get some welding rod out of the truck and see what we can do with it. Well, George and I are back working on the basement. We're getting some foam put in for the insulation here. And of course, it turns out to be a windy day, trying to deal with foam. Reminds me of those airplanes I used to have when I was a kid that you throw them and they fly away. So you're probably wondering why we're doubling up sheets of 1 inch instead of going with just 2 inch. If you sit and do the math, it's actually cheaper to buy the 1 inch than it is to buy the 2 inch. So that's why we're doing it all 1 inch. And plus, you can overlap the joints, that way they're sealed between. So that is a nice thing about using this 1 inch. Where the 2-inch, you just butt them up, and there's nothing to seal the seams unless you tape them. This stuff gets smashed by the dirt and it stays put and it's sealed up between. Alright, looks fine. George will get some dirt. That'll hold this in place. I'd rather leave this exposed for now and get the porches done in the garage run for sure. Then that seals up everything in the front for them to set the house. I'll just have to work around this for a little bit and then we get the rest for insulation. Alright, let's go do that. Probably have to make some piles of dirt and set there with a hoe and put it in. Alright, so since that porch is done, George and I have moved on to the garage wall. We're going to start getting some dirt put in there. We had to run to Lowe's. We got all our top plates, we got our sill sealer, we got the rest of our insulation. Not sure how he wants me to do this. Ready, George? Okay. To do this in lifts, we're gonna have to compact it, so we'll get our first lift in. That'll get our insulation secured. I need the camera on the other side of the cab because you can't really see what's going on down in there. I can see. There we go, now we can see. Kind of put our piles of fill dirt in the wrong place, but that's all right. George is cutting a piece right now. Let him get that cut. So it's pretty simple working with this stuff, especially the way that we're just overlapping seams. Just trim sheets, and the seams don't really have to overlap in any certain spot, so as long as you got a good foot of overlap, they're good. That'll work. I'll have to go around behind the house to finish that out. So while George works on some backfill, I'm going to rip some sheets of foam because we need to rip off 12 inches in order to be under the concrete in the garage area. So we don't want the concrete to bump up against this, and we don't want it to be exposed, so that's why through the garage we're not going to go 4 foot all the way up to the top. So we're also not going to go all the way up to the top all the way around the house. So in the garage though, we need 12 inches off. So we're just going to use the DeWalt table saw and just rip it off like we would a piece of plywood. Now you could put a straight edge along it and cut it with a utility knife, but table saw is working really nice. put these against the wall and put a full sheet over them. So they will get utilized, and nothing goes to waste. Nothing has went to waste yet. At least it's not as windy as it was yesterday. Yesterday was terrible. Every time you pick one of these sheets up, you'd want to fly away with it. Something I really like about this DeWalt table saw is this big off switch. You don't have to search for it. You just reach down and just smack it and it turns it right off. It's a pretty nice feature. I don't know if you can see it. But, well, got my tripod all messed up here. But, yeah, that on-off switch right here. Push button for on, and then off is this nice big plastic tab. Works real good. I like that. All right, I'm gonna finish ripping these. We'll get the backfill going in the basement. I meant we'll get the backfill going in the garage and compacting done in the raises. So we're back to working on our garage wall here. Had to bring some dirt from out back. Reason we quit on the garage yesterday was because we wanted to fill all the way around the base so that our dirt wasn't pushing out into our other over digs, so we get a good compaction. So we kind of brought everything up around the house at the same time so it all matched. Few roots in this, but no big deal. Get some of that over there for George. There we go. Get some more in there and then I'll move it around. Give us another foot lift. So we hauled out 28 loads out of the basement, and we've almost put that back around and in the porches. So basically we took it out of the hole and just moved it up on the outsides in square or rectangle boxes. So the porches and the garage are going to burn up everything that came out of the basement hole. And then some. definitely don't want to get too close to that new wall. Break this down a little bit. Go around to the other side to finish it off. So George and I are going to snap a chalk line along the garage wall so we can fill up to that. So we're going to stay 12 inches down from the top. Ready? That'll work. So we got to finish filling up to there. And then the concrete garage floor will be on top of that. Probably get it in another lift and a half, probably. Might get it another lift. This stuff's compacting very well. All right, let's add some more dirt. So what George and I are doing now is we're putting a layer of pea gravel here in the basement. For one thing, if there is ever moisture under the concrete, like groundwater, this will help that groundwater get to the tiles a little bit quicker. But like I said before, I highly, highly doubt there will ever be any groundwater that'll ever make it to these tiles because this is just so dry right here. Now, I'm not saying it in a 100-year flood, it's not going to be ever a little moist, but I've never seen water in this part of this farm. And I've had the trommel pond dug out here for four years now, and it's never even came up close to being as high as the bottom of this basement floor is. So we're good on that. Like I said before, the tile's just to meet code. And the sump pits are just to be able to have laundry tubs and somewhere to drain them to and pump the water out. So we did bump up our footings an inch when we dug them in. So we are about, an inch or so low out here in the other parts of the basement. So the pea gravel is easy to work with. And like I said, it'll help that water get through because it can run right through it between the rocks under the concrete. So mainly it's just pea gravel is easier to work with is why we're using it. I do have some washed sand I could have used, but we had plenty of pea gravel left over from the tiles, so we figured we'd just go ahead and utilize that. So now we're actually preparing for concrete. So we're gonna try to get some grade stakes set, and then we will be able to pour some concrete down here. So George and I got all the grade stakes hammered in. So we are pretty much ready to pour other than getting the plastic and putting it down. But what I'm gonna do just for safety is I'm gonna take some marking paint and paint these so nobody trips over them, like I did just a little bit ago. We're ready to pour some concrete now. We are scheduled for Monday at 10 o'clock. And then Wednesday, the house will be here. So we're getting close. Real close to having a house on this. Well, it's gotten kind of dark because it is that time of day. So we are ready to pour concrete in the basement. So that's going to be the next video. George and I are going to head home. It's time to go home. We're both kind of hungry. So thank you for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed this. And if you did enjoy it, give me a like and a subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. So next one we'll probably be doing, we'll do the sill plates also. And we'll kind of do, well, no, we'll just do pouring the floor. And then we'll do actually a video of the sill plates and getting ready for the house to actually sit on the foundation, because I'm sure there'll be plenty of video of just pouring the floor. So we'll just see how it goes. So thanks for watching.